Bitcoin just closed its lowest candle since 2020. Larsson Line has remained blue, so it worked again. You're welcome. Despite, or maybe because of the success of this process, I have faced a lot of criticism lately. The amount of shilling of your indicator, videos over videos, make me wanna unsubscribe. Lost of self-integrity and approaching to become a sellout. At the same time, this process again saved me from FOMOing in at the rally here a couple of weeks ago when I really wanted to. That is a fact, but I'm not saying this to brag or win some point. I'm trying to be of use to you, to give you some of the insights I have gained over the decades that I have worked. And I want to start this story from earlier in my life. Then I will connect with how it applies to Bitcoin and crypto price. Don't worry. It's about obsession about the fundamentals. When I graduated, I had the highest grades in my Master of Science program at my university, D92. The way I did it wasn't by studying the most. I studied hard, absolutely. But the level of performance and dedication there was insane. While I liked girls, and programming on my Amiga computer, and traveling, and girls. Instead, the way I did it was that the first year I absolutely obsessed about the fundamentals. I could walk around at the gym and just think about one short equation in math or physics, until I had thought of every possible aspect of it. Then I went back and read about it again. I thought about it when falling asleep. Eventually, I understood it completely, through and through. Then later, when many of the other students kind of skimmed at the top, lost in thousands of details, all the problems seemed fairly easy to me. I could get the line of thinking from the professor, what he was getting to, because he or she too wanted to show the simplicity, the beauty almost of the fundamentals, the very foundation, the basis on which everything relies on. You know, some people in school try to be cool by saying, I didn't study anything for this test, while actually they had studied a lot. I sometimes did the other way around. I said I had studied more than I actually had because I felt bad for some of my friends who really had studied maybe twice as much as I had and still failed the test, while I sat there with a full score after taking my girl on a long weekend to some cabin. Now when scrolling Twitter, I see people do exactly the same mistake. They're skimming on the surface, lost in thousands and thousands of details. While I sit here, Larsson Line is blue, that's it. If you want to master anything, you have to become obsessed about the fundamentals, and then you can entertain yourself with the details. So what are the fundamentals of Bitcoin and crypto price action? Is it the technology? As someone who has been a technology man all my life, I'm sorry to say that it's not really. The technology hasn't changed much. With Bitcoin, we have the Lightning Network now, but most people aren't using it. So for most people, for practical purposes, the basic technology is pretty similar to 13 years ago. So if not technology then, what is the fundamentals of Bitcoin price action? Is it the macroeconomics? Is it quantitative easing versus hawkish interest rate hikes? Or is it the euro dropping against the dollar? Sure, to some extent. I highlighted here in 2020 when the dollar currency index or dollar strength index hit this enormously powerful multi-decade support. And I said I think it can be a logical point for reversal. Those videos and tweets should still be there. And now the dollar currency index has hit levels that we haven't seen since 2002. That's 20 years ago. And you can pile on details here. Putin, energy crisis, lockdowns causing business mayhem, China, Evergrande. This never ends, and next year there will be new ones. It's not really the core of the fundamentals either to the Bitcoin price action. So what is it? It's the behaviors of the buyers and the sellers. Especially for an asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency that doesn't have a fundamental price. There is no net present value of future cash flows. One of the world's most experienced traders and investors said this to me back in 2017, and that's when the coin dropped for me, pun intended. And people behave mostly driven by emotion. And emotions change slowly. Your conviction about the bull market changes slowly. That's why trends stick. Now we're convinced about the bear market. That's sticking. That's why trends work, because we can't change our emotions so fast. So study the behaviors of the buyers and the sellers, and specifically, number 1, what they do. Number 2, why they do it. And the trend is your friend until the end when it bends. Do people start believing in Bitcoin as a new generation gold for the digital era and as a global currency for the internet era? Or do they start losing faith? Was it all a scam, propped up by the whales? Are they all selling now? Like here's a guy who bought 5,000 BTC in 2013 and then held through this entire downtrend and now sold for like $100 million. If this analysis is correct, I haven't checked it, could be some exchange transaction. Most stuff posted on Twitter turns out to be incorrect, but those are the types of behaviors I'm looking for. And I'm not looking for what people say, because they have an incentive for misinformation, to talk price up when they want to sell and talk it down when they want to buy. I'm looking for what they do. And where do we find what people do? That's right, that's the chart. That's the aggregate of what the large players actually do. So people who say that they don't believe in technical analysis haven't understood that the chart is simply a way to uncover this action, to uncover the behaviors where the whales can't hide, at least not for long. That's why you find me, the technology man, and the guy who likes studying politics and economics, coming back to the chart and try to extract the fundamentals from it, instead of getting lost in the details. So the critics of my obsession with the chart, well, that's why. But what about pushing the Larsson Line indicator then? Now I want to move on to another story. That is actually from one of the earlier CEOs at Ericsson, where I worked before. He did one thing that I've tried to take with me ever since I saw that. I think it was about 20 years ago. When other people met key customers, including myself, we often started with something positive. Some new great product we were proud of, or our vision for the future, or something more we could do for this customer. What he did was that he started the meeting with the biggest problem, our biggest shortcoming. It could be some bug in the code for the network, or a delay in the rollout, or whatever. He addressed it head on, immediately. He brought it up. Then the customer who sat there thinking when or if they should bring this issue up got surprised. They got it off their chest immediately. They could talk about what to do about it. And then, after that, he talked about the new exciting things. This strategy worked terribly with the media. The stock dumped every time he talked about our problems, of course. But it was, in my eyes, in my opinion, from what I saw, a huge success with the customers. And it suited me. I learned from it. I borrowed that method. So let me now address this criticism. The criticism is that I push a simple indicator for over $2,000. And the answer is, I don't. Let me explain with another example. Bitcoin, for example. That is economic freedom disguised as a get-rich-quick scheme. Many people who came into Bitcoin are staying because of the vision of a better world. For the first time, there actually is an economic system that is equal. Suddenly it doesn't matter what skin you have, what background you have, who your dad was, or what your nationality is. And then the old privileged people, they don't like it. What? Can the plebs play at the same field as us? That's unacceptable. There should be a creditor-investor rules, where only the already rich people can play, with rich dads. Not some young guy from the slum in some poor country in Asia. Suddenly there is hope for a currency that can't be screwed up, as we see happening in parts of the world right now with the fiat currencies, because you can't change it. But is that why you came into Bitcoin or crypto? Why you took interest in it? No, probably not. You wanted to make some money, you and everyone else. Same with me, same with this. The indicator is my pinpoint to pierce the resistance, the easy to understand value, to get you to do the education, to adopt a process, a methodology that has a chance to work over time. The indicator as such, it's just a tool. It's a good one. It's the most helpful one I know for my style of trading. But it's still just a tool. What I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to get you to absorb knowledge that I think will serve you well for a lifetime and become maybe a lifelong peer of mine where we exchange ideas. I don't sell the indicator. I sell education. 21 episodes of education over 3 weeks. That's number one. And then you get the process that I use, that I have printed and posted next to my computer. You could do the same. And then I give you the indicator. But you need to know how to use it, or it will lead you wrong. It will do you damage instead of helping you. Then number 4. Right now I also give you a weekly 10-page report that I send out every Friday, where I apply this process on the biggest crypto coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, Solana, XRP, for free, no extra charge. I've also set up a Discord server where you are also welcome as a member, no extra charge. I've had this process since 2018 and I've published it here continuously so you know it's not an after construction. With this performance, if you go back in time to 2019 or whatever point of time since 2018, then look me in the eye and tell me again that isn't good value. You can't. If someone traveled back in time and gave me this process and toolset and education 20 years ago for $2,000, it would have made me billions, literally. You can backtest it and see for yourself. Who knows if this will work in 10 or 20 years, but if it doesn't, I'll try to invent the next one, following the same fundamentals that I keep obsessing about. But right now, this is the best performing process I know, and from what I can see on Twitter, it still outperforms by a mile, and it's about fundamentals. That's why I keep talking about it on these videos. And you can see for yourself that it works. It won't work every time, and who knows what the future will bring. But so far, it has worked well on average. So turns out that the critics of this book are the ones who haven't read the book. Okay, but then those words aren't relevant because they frankly don't know what they are talking about. Next point of criticism. Why don't I publish testimonials or reviews? Perhaps it's crap and I'm trying to hide it. You know why I don't do that? It's because most online reviews are fake. You shouldn't look for them or trust them. There are suppliers delivering reviews. They're sending offers to me in my inbox. And their reviews are great. They're better, more engaging, more personal than the real reviews. So real people will sort those fake reviews as the most useful reviews, and they bubble to the top. And I actually have testimonials, but they come at the end of the course, and they are only visible to me and other members as a guide to know what to improve. And there are hundreds of them, and they are good, and they are real, because there is no incentive to fake them. Now I'm gonna make an exception in this video, but that's it then. Here you go. Excellent communication skill. Thank you, Christoph. Great insights and lessons that I'll use for my trading activities. I love how the courses are spaced out with questions at the end of each lesson to help me think about what I have just learned. Definitely will be going through the course a number of times to make sure I've learned all I need to. Money well spent. Thank you, Warren. Thomas, CTO Larsson has made a comprehensive but simple approach for the new investor to help navigate the markets. I have enjoyed every minute. CryptoSurfer63, excellent, well presented, thought-provoking course which instills a quiet confidence for future decision making. Thank you, Surfer. Jeff, CTO Larsson has done a monumental amount of proof of work for his concept. As a long-time investor, I have traded on my own account and have professional money managers manage my money, because I was always very busy with the business of life and work. Now that I have time, I'm 59 years old. I delved into the Bitcoin, tech and crypto markets last year to better understand the advance of technology. It is an eye-opening experience with new horizons. CTO Larsson has compressed my learnings by literally years. A wonderful course. I'm glad I'm associated with CTO Larsson and everyone else who subscribes. We have a global network of like-minded people. Casablanca, fantastic course. I love the way CTO Larsson cuts the noise and simplifies things by showing us great examples of what he's teaching with clarity. Highly recommended. Paul, thank you CTO Larsson for making this course. Nobody knows what the future will bring, but self-education is the key to success, and this course has definitely helped me on my journey. It's a process when trading or investing, and this course is well worth it. Don't hesitate, guys and girls. Key points of the Larsson Line Course Plus indicator. Simple process, easy to follow, takes out the emotion, extra tool in the tool chest for noobs and pros alike, would highly recommend. Martin Hewitt. Last year I committed to managing my own retirement saving. Since then it has been boom and bust and everything in between. These are turbulent times. I found it hard to decipher information coming from so many sources. Became aware of indicators and know what to do day to day, week to week, month to month. I can now use this course to quieten the noise and focus on the big picture. Additionally, it's got an insurance indicator, the Larsson Line. I highly recommend it. Thank you CTO, thank you Martin. I think you may have taught me how to protect myself from myself and to set the goal, not the predetermined time frame. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. That's exactly how it was for me as well. John, for those people sitting on the fence, contemplating on purchasing Larsson's course, my suggestion to you is to not hesitate any longer and just do it. The course is simply outstanding. To be completely transparent in regard to my own decision on buying the course, I was at the pinnacle of my own investment journey, having made some excruciating financial mistakes, so I decided that prioritizing education and developing a sound investment strategy before moving forward on making any new investment decisions was key. Luckily and thankfully, Larsson's life practices and long-term investment philosophy completely gelled with my interest and overall investment approach. Patience indeed is a virtue. Thank you, Larsson, for sharing your work, your passion, and your knowledge. I'm grateful to be a Larsson Line investor and practitioner. These were the latest testimonials at the end of the course, and I didn't skip over any. Nor have I deleted any. Why would I do that? You can't see these anyway. Next criticism. Why do you need to charge so much for your course if it works and you make plenty of money trading? Good question. Why not set this at $100, for example? The answer is that I've set the price as a filter. For me, this is very serious. I want to spend my time with people who also take this seriously. I don't want to spend my time with people who are just starting out or just playing around a little bit. I also think that if you only have $100 to invest, it isn't worth your time. This process isn't worth your time. Then you should do what I suggest in this very old video instead. Apologies for the video quality. So I've set the price at $2,318 and I haven't changed it since the start. That has worked well. Almost 100% who buy the course and everything are satisfied in the end. The filter works well. I like the type of people we get as members. A network of like-minded people with a common process, a common vocabulary and a common tool set is extremely powerful. The biggest investors are in the higher age groups usually. They typically don't like to hang and chit-chat on the Discord server, and I absolutely respect that. But once in a while they write me a well-crafted email back to me with an insight that I would never have thought about. That's the value. By giving value to other people, value comes back to you. Next criticism. You seem to have plenty of money. That makes it even worse that you're attempting to profit even more. You should have free content once rich, in my opinion. I firmly believe everyone should learn for free because we're all in this together. I only help for free because that's what I feel is right. And Grant here absolutely has a good point. But I can't just publish this on YouTube for 3 reasons. Number 1, dedicated 21 episode courses where you have to put in effort and do exercises and so on. They just don't perform on YouTube. Because if it's free and easily accessible anytime and you don't need to commit anything, you get lazy, you never finish it. That's a fact and you can Google the psychology behind that. Number 2. If there is no filter for quality and dedication of the participant, there is no quality network build happening for me. Number 3. I don't want everyone to have this process and toolset because then it might stop working if it spreads too far and wide. So that's why. Next criticism. Why the clickbait thumbnails? Thought you were better than that. Obviously wrong, unsubscribed. YouTube works like this. There is an algorithm that is very centric to click-through rate. They show the video with the thumbnail and the title to a set of people. Then, if the click-through rate is below a certain percentage compared to other similar videos, YouTube stops showing that video. It stops showing it even to people who might have clicked on it, because from YouTube's perspective they're wasting real estate. So if typing Bitcoin in here, practically all these thumbnails will have a certain click-through rate, because if it doesn't, it wouldn't be here. If more of you guys hit the bell, I wouldn't have to do this, but you haven't, so what should I do? The next criticism I want to address is this one. CTO, your course is for the rich. I live in Africa. Anything for us poor folks. This criticism is valid. Novella Financial, who wrote it, is right. I don't have a good solution for this. I know very well how different $1 is in Sweden or in the US, or in say Burma or Philippines or in countries in Africa. And I don't have a good solution for this. I am sorry that I don't, and I am happy and open for suggestions. Now that Bitcoin has dumped, these prices are no longer equivalent. 23.18 price right now is 18,849. So BTC price should be 0.12, not 0.11, because Bitcoin has dumped again. So to keep the price equivalent, which I want to do out of respect to everyone who has bought it, I need to increase the price in BTC. And as usual, I will give you 24 hours notice from now. In 24 hours, I will increase the price in BTC to 0.12. And for the markets, I will continue doing what I'm already doing. Critics or not, I will continue following my own process, which for Bitcoin versus USD remains down, and there is no bottom pattern in the chart. People talk about double bottoms. Yeah, who knows, anything could happen. But it only becomes a double bottom if price crosses above the highest point between the bottoms, which would be 25,300 something. And right now we're not there. So there is little point in speculating about that, in my opinion, at this point. ETH versus BTC looks much better. Here I'm showing it with the 3-day candles. Price is back in this upward sloping channel, and the trend is up on most time frames. BNB to BTC as well actually looks great. It had this very well defined rectangle that broke out, and the breakout still holds. Trend is up on most time frames. Solana to BTC is a little different. As you remember, it was a very clean and easy chart actually. Now if we zoom in a little bit, we see that price broke down the support, which actually made this a head and shoulders, and now price is meeting that level as resistance instead. Cardano ADA as well is hesitating. 3-day trend has at least turned neutral here, and this very dangerous 2K SAT support has actually held. So a lot of XRP fans out there. It's a very broad range here, and so far the bottom of the range has held, but the trend remains down. But maybe the most interesting chart of all here is this one, Bitcoin dominance. Are we seeing a breakdown here? More on that in Friday's TA report. But is there an alt season versus BTC happening here? Let's go ask someone who likes altcoins. So what's your favorite metaverse tokens?
My favorite, it's Sandbox and Render token, yeah. Render token, not Raiden. Ethereum number 1, Kronos, Sandbox, Moon River. Also, this is my favorite. Buy now or cry later.
I don't have much hair, but the little I have still needs cutting. So how long have you been into crypto?
Around 3-4 years. If you want to do money, you must go in now.
Do you think it will go up or down?
I think they will go up soon, maybe. If they not hint something with war or something, so I think this will go up in December.
Gentleman's Barbershop Kungsholmen.
Welcome all time.
Can you pay with Bitcoin?
Yeah.